when having power, you can't choose yourself to restrain yourself as far as
the trunks, you can lose because like both characters.
His fear is his whole big thing. So I mean, people want.
Clark. This is between you and me.
We don't have to do this.
Sure we do.
Bruce, be reasonable. You know what my...
He does create his own villains, but he was geniusly written because it's inevitable. He has to create his own conflicts, his own villains, because the way Batman works is Batman, like most superheroes, it's an evolutionary thing. Every adventure, every new challenge that he faces, whether it's the Joker, Bane, Scarecrow, whoever, the Penguin, it's always the next phase. And because of that, because Batman always has to evolve, so do his villains. So it's a chain reaction.
People want to find out what gets under his skin because he rarely ever wants to be scared because he wants to emit fear. So people are trying to figure out how to get under his skin, and I guess that makes for harsher villains. I think the Batman villains are 10 times worse than the Superman villains.
Batman is just a guy with a suit just like you and I, and he just happens to be smart, and he's able to put things together, not just let things happen for him like Superman.
The producers of the WB animated series, Batman and Superman, the director, it was either the director or the producer, he said it best, and I completely agree with this idea. If Batman is night, Superman is day. So, not that they have to yin-yang each other and be the negative where the other one is the positive, but that is what they are.
Superman. I mean, I don't hate Superman. I think he's way overpowered, but I do like the whole thing that he lives this whole other lifestyle. But I mean, the whole thing with Batman, why I enjoy him so much, is because there's so much going on up here that you want to find out about, and he's not one to go out and unless he's like in the Nolan movies, he was flaunting his money or whatever like that, or whatever he does.
Oh, he's just the good guy. There's no conflict. There's no reality to the character, but that's not true because the real story of Superman is not that he always has the answers and that he's always the crown prince and that he always saves the day and that he always knows right from wrong, because there's a lot of conflict in Superman. You see it a lot in the graphic novels, you see a lot in the older comic books, you see a lot in the Death of Superman. And there's a lot of conflict to him. Superman is not so much the guy who has all the answers and the guy who can solve it all, as much as he is the orphan who has a lot of ability to change a lot, but not everything, not enough.
Well, as far as powers and all are concerned, Superman is too super. He's not real. He's unrelatable.
I see Superman's power to be the equivalent of Batman and all the gadgets and all the money and the armor, because Batman wasn't born with it. Superman was. Batman achieved it on his own, through his own means. He was also born into the money. So if you want to call Superman lucky, and well, it doesn't count because he was born an alien. Well, Batman was born rich. So without that richness, without his last name, he can't be Batman.
Easily Batman. It's because he chooses to do what's right and wrong, even if he has to cross that line. Superman can't. He's too bounded by good, the realm of the impossible, right? I mean, it's good and bad in everything, but there's nothing wrong with choosing the good, but of course the greater lesson is learned in both good and bad.
The underlying question that Superman always is burdened with is, should I or shouldn't I? Because I can doesn't always necessarily mean that I should.
Right.
You know, you saw that in the new movie when he asked his dad, well, what was I supposed to do, let them die? And his dad was like, maybe. And he goes through a conflict. He decides, okay, again, should I or shouldn't I? Because in the end, with Batman, Arkham Asylum gets more and more packed, then they escape, and then they get more and more packed, and that's the cycle of Batman. With Superman, people die, the world changes, government changes, the Daily Planet changes, and Lois Lane's always kind of hanging in the balance. So his is more of the effects of his evolution are more internal, whereas Batman is more external.
It cost me hours of work last night.
Then I'll get right to it. You have to go back into retirement. You're upsetting too many people.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you always have to be like this? You played right into their hands last time when the parents' groups and the subcommittees came after us. You're the one they pointed to. You act like a criminal.
We are criminals, Clark. We always have been. You're still one, too. Only difference is you have a boss.
And you answer to no one. You know, we almost had this talk 10 years ago, when you wouldn't go along with the deal we made. Everyone else agreed. Diana went back to her people, Hal left the planet.
And Oliver, did he agree?
That's not how I wanted that to go.
He was all torn up about it, too.
He made it necessary. Like
I'm about to.
Do you even remember why you retired?
I remember.
Look, either shut it down or one of these days someone with authority is going to tell me to come stop you. And when that happens...
When that happens, may the best man win.
I have to go. We'll finish this later.
No hurry.